Hey everybody, welcome back to Fix the Rust Bucket. In my last video, I used super clean products to clean the engine, transmission, and engine bay of the car. If you saw the video, everything was out of the car. It came out fantastic. It's nice and clean. I got the engine back installed in the car. Was working on wrapping up that video, but as you can see, I have an engine hoist or cherry picker back on the car. We're not going to get into that right now. It was something I should have done when the engine was out. I didn't, and I'm paying for it. We're going to jump ahead for that video right now because I got the seats for the car. You'll hear in that video I talk about we were going to look for either new seats, well not new, but seats out of another Mitsubishi Eclipse Spyder, seat covers, or have it reupholstered. We ended up finding seats for a lot less than even what seat covers were going to cost us. So let's get right into the video. This is the passenger seat. The tops, the seat itself is just beyond brittle and it's breaking apart real easily. The foam has been wrecked and torn. This seat's actually in good shape compared to the driver's seat. The driver's seat is just baked, gone. I guess maybe it's from it being a soft top. Maybe the person that had the car left the top down quite a bit because there's a lot of fade on the panels as well. Same thing here with the driver's seat though. This was very brittle and hard. The foam, the first layer of foam here, padding is it's sticking up in the air and it's ruined and stained. So covering these up with a seat cover, it could have been done, but it would have been a lot of work to make them even comfortable to sit on. And that was really not an acceptable repair, I guess you would say, for me. So we decided we would hunt down some seats. We came across these two seats right here, which came out of a Mitsubishi Eclipse Spyder soft top. I believe we were looking at right around $295, so say $300 we were looking at, and then whatever the shipping was for seat covers, and we got those for half the price of the seat covers. Scored on that one. The person that we bought these from, he had bought these seats out of a junkyard for his Mitsubishi Eclipse, but it was not a soft top, it was a hard top. And he didn't realize that these right here, these plastic pieces are for the seat belt, the shoulder harness on both seats. They are for soft tops only. I don't say soft tops only, they will bolt into a hard top, but they don't fit right. The hard tops don't have these because the seat belts are bolted into the roof of the car. And the only thing that he did not have in there, because he didn't want to pay the pick and pull place the money for it, was he pulled the airbags out of the two seats. Well, lucky for us, the old seats still have good airbags in them, so we're able to swap out our airbags into these, and we've got two good seats. The cost of the seats and the fuel in my coffee going there and coming back cost less than two seat covers. All right, so with that, I couldn't turn it down. It was a 7-hour round trip. My son and I jumped in the car, ran up to Richmond, Virginia, picked up the seats, came back down. We had a good time doing it. All the electronics in the driver's seat are still there. They all work. Passenger seat's a manual seat. The only thing we have to do is swap out the airbags from the old ones to the new ones. All right, so I've got to get a few things done and get the driver's seat out of the car before we can work on getting the airbag swapped out and get the table down, stuff like that. But before I get into that, like the title says, Super Clean has been gracious enough to allow us here at Fix the Rust Bucket to offer one of our subscribers a free giveaway from Super Clean and some Super Clean products. I will get into that a little bit later, but let me get started, get us all rearranged, and we'll get right into taking these apart and putting airbags in them. All right, so we got the easy part done with that. Seats out, tables down, and we have the passenger seat of the old passenger seat and the new passenger seat here. Now, I have never taken out airbags out of these types of seats before, or even this kind of a car. These are pretty, self-explanatory. They're gonna pop out from the sides or the bottom, lift up or lift down. We'll find out. I'm gonna actually work on the trashed seat first in case I break something. I don't have to worry about breaking it on the new seat. We do have spare parts though. So let's get into this. We'll get a pry bar and pry that open. So there's no screws showing out anywhere on the sides or the bottom. So there's no screws holding on. So it's gotta be some kind of a clip holding this to the frame of the seat. We'll just start prying on it and see what we get. Get a screwdriver, see if we can feel up underneath it there. Get in here with a screwdriver and see if we can feel anything going on. I don't want to break the seats because I do want to try and resell the old ones. All right, so there's something in this area and right around here, and it's completely empty in the middle. So figure out what they are. And I'm probably completely doing this the wrong way. And we'll find out. There it goes. All right. There we go. There we go. So what are we looking at? Okay. So metal bar across the bottom, and this slipped out. Let me put this back in here. So right, for anybody that has to do these seats that doesn't know, and I didn't know, but now we know, there's two metal clips here. Excuse me, not metal clips. There's two plastic clips here with the loops on them. I clip onto the metal bar right here, and then there's a metal bar across the top. And right here across the top, get it? Those tabs right there, just the metal bar slips down on them. So with that, it's out of our way. Good news is, you can see here, and get you over here. Sorry for the shaking. But there's our airbag wiring, and there's our seat airbag. So let's get this torn apart on the other seat. Just be a little bit more gentle on this one. I don't want to break it. I'm taking the pry bar and I'm finding that piece of plastic right here, this bottom clip. I'm taking the pry bar and getting as close as I can to the side of this and then just pushing or pulling to pop it open. Easier said than done. There we go. Pull this one down. Much better. All right, where's that piece? All right, there it is. I'll slip this back on here. This is off to the side. You can see right here. Also, we'll bring it around here a little bit more. The foam is now sticking in there, but no airbag and no airbag wiring like we do over here. Next, we've got to get the fabric off of the metal frame so we can get into here, accessing the airbag. So these should just be held, slip on here. They shouldn't be held on with any screws or anything either. Yeah. Get this out of your way. It's a little tight because the airbag is in there. So, get that one off. If you're doing this, just take your time, be gentle about it, and you should be okay. Just be careful you don't damage any of the airbag wiring or the airbag itself. So, try and get this to come out of there. There we go. I'm just pulling on the fabric, squeezing it and trying to twist it back towards the back of the seat. Screwdriver inside the little V groove or the little U-shape clip holding it on, and then just twisting it out. Make sure you guys could still see that. There we go. That's one. Loosen up the plastic ones here, just so we don't tear any of this. Not worried about the bottom. That's just a decorative piece on the back side. We might have to get into it because the wiring goes down underneath, but we'll get to that in a minute. Got 2 bolts. We'll leave them in there. And then the foam padding. So let's see how we get to the airbag. There's the airbag. There's our airbag right here. Get that out of the way. There's the airbag cylinder, and the airbag's right here in the front. So we have 2 bolts holding the metal frame of the airbag to the seat frame, and then the wiring go down underneath with some wire ties. I call them wire ties, but they're not really wire ties. Here, let me show you real quick. They're like a wire tie type holding the wiring for the harness, but if you look back here, it's just like a push tab in through a hole of the metal frame. All right, so I'm just gonna start off with some needle nose pliers, because I would like to save that and put that back in the seat correctly. And we'll just squeeze this and, oh, there you go, perfect. It's like the little pieces inside underneath your hood holding engine wires and stuff together. We'll keep working our way down through the seat and see what else we have to do. And we're going to have to actually move this to see underneath it here. Get a better visual of it at least. All right, so it just continues on down through there. Not a big deal. We'll flip the seat over. And what a nasty mess this is. So here we go. So it comes out of the seat from the backrest area down around. It's got another protective coating on top of the wire loom, another protective coating right here at the bend point of the seat. But again, well, right here somebody has a wire tie on it. This seat is nasty. Now we can't access, unless we pull the bottom cushion off, which I'm not going to do. We can't just take the needle nose pliers and squeeze it. So back in the day before I had this, I probably would have just taken, I had a tool, I cut a U shape into it, and I would get in there and try and pry it out. I basically made one of these for myself. A friend of my son's was really nice to us and gave us this awesome kit to work on cars. So now we'll use the proper tool for the proper thing. We'll sit here, probably still not the proper thing, but it'll do what we need it to do. Pull them out, and there you go. We'll be able to seat them right back into the other seat here, new seat. So it actually is working out pretty well, because the prong is getting right alongside the two squeeze points and squeezing them. A little bit of wiggling, and there we go. Let's get this out of our way. Now that we have our wire completely exposed and loose, carefully protecting that. Bring this back down. Oh. Back up there. Bring the wire up through the back. Those tabs are just getting a little stuck, but just work them around the metal. Remember how your feet are, well, if you're doing this, remember how you're taking it out. So when you come in here, you feed it properly through all these metal brackets, so you don't get these wires pinched or cut, because then your airbag system and everything else is going to be a disaster. And if you don't remember, or you don't know where it broke, you're going to be hunting down a lot of electrical stuff till you find it. So just remember how it goes in, or how it comes out, so you can put it back in the same way. Now the plug is a little bit tight, but through the bottom there, all right. Let's see if we move the seat backwards, if that adjusts anything. Yep, just pull the seat, there we go. Made that a little bit easier. All right, so our wire's out. Now we have to just unbolt the airbag and slip it out from under the foam, and we'll move to the next seat. And because we are going to be selling this car, putting it up for sale, I am going to visually check and make sure both wires on both seats don't look like they've been cut or pinched or damaged, or the plugs themselves. I want to make sure that they're in good working order. I don't want to sell a car to somebody that the airbags are not in good working order. So it's a solid piece of wire loom. Like if you buy some wire loom from the store, which I can show you here real quick. So here's a wire loom that you can see it's split. This is what you get from the big box stores or online or whatever. It's got that split and that opening in there. Can you see it? You see that? There. Yeah. This wire loom here is one solid piece. It doesn't have a split through it. So I'm not worried about anything that got in there and damaged it. And it looks pretty good to me all the way through. It's not pinched. So comfortable with that wire. We'll drag the airbag out. Make sure it's not rusted up or show any signs of wear, I guess. And then get it installed in that seat. So again, just pull this back out of the way. The airbag should just pop out. There's two tabs over here that I just saw kind of folded over, so we're going to have to bend them out. I'll show you when I get it out. There's two openings in the metal frames, basically another spot for the airbag to be held up against your seat if it deploys. So we're going to have to push them out. Use a screwdriver. If the metal's too hard, we'll tap it with the hammer. Oh, no, there you go. Perfect. Slip them out of there. Pull the airbag out. Well, that couldn't have worked out any better. So don't pull on the airbag on the wires. Just feed it through little by little. Slowly, and it'll all come out. So there's our airbag. There's a little bit of corrosion or rust right here, but it's not anything that's going to cause the airbag to not deploy correctly. The airbag itself looks clean and it's still in its bag and not torn. So I'm comfortable with that. This is just on the back side. And here's those two metal tabs I was telling you about. I had to push with the screwdriver to get them around the seat, and then it slipped right on out. So let me put this off to the side. We'll put this seat back together because we're going to have everything we need here. So let's put this seat back together, and then we'll install it into that seat. There we go. We'll put this seat back on, or the cover back on this seat. So just push it up, and it should snap in place. Lift up over that metal bar. There we go. And now that's back in, so get that out of our way. Oh, what a horrible noise. So basically now it's going to be the reverse process of just putting the airbag back into this seat. So we'll start off with removing this cosmetic piece on the bottom. It's out of our way. Get the side here. We're gonna have to do this top as well. Just get some flex into it. Where are we? There we go. It's out of our way. This plastic piece. Releasing this side. We'll check here. Okay, so he told us about it. Somebody took and put foam inside that seat. Maybe he did it himself, I don't know. He took some foam and replaced the airbag, hiding. There was no bolt, you know, the bulge probably wasn't there, hiding. Well, that, and then this wouldn't latch on correctly, hiding that the airbag wasn't in there. But he did tell us, so he didn't hide that from us. Oh, that's garbage. Everything looks good in there. We'll slip the airbag in, bolt it back in, and run the wires back out. We'll start off with the wiring. Behind the fabric and behind the foam. It doesn't go in front of the foam. Again, being careful, not pulling on or tugging on the wires where they go to the airbag. Not that it's going to deploy. You don't want to damage the wiring. It's not going to deploy without any power source to it. That, everything in there. Bolt holes, and then again, those metal tabs. Make sure they're seated correctly on the back side of the frame here, which it slips in nice and easy. With that right there, we'll put the bolts back on it, or the nuts back on the bolts. And make sure the airbag stays secure in its spot. Nice and snug. Now we're going to run the wire all the way down and under the seat before we start putting any of these back in their spots. It's lining up. Hi, Maggie Moose. Now we'll get this behind the pivot point, which it was, I think it was ended up being easier with this up. There's two metal bars I'm working around underneath here with the plug and this fabric. So I do have it past the first pivot point. Let's see if we can manipulate it around the other one. All right, so we've got that gray spot here on the extra wire loom for the coating around the pivot point. Good with that. Line up this top part, pop it in its hole. That one's good to go. Fabric out of the way, and we'll flip the seat and finish the installation on the bottom. Which actually, I'm going to get this back up out of the way a little bit temporarily. Same thing, down underneath of here. Get it all back underneath of where it's supposed to be. Down in, down here. That one is not making it down there, so this moved on me. All right, so something moved on me. We're going to change that and fix that right now. We need that plug to line up. There's a plug coming out of the floor from underneath the carpet that it's going to have to line up correctly. So we'll get some extra room here. Very good. That'll give us enough room to get to the plug under the floor. And then these here are going to have to get moved. It's not difficult to do, but you got to be careful. What we're going to do is take a small screwdriver and just undo the zip tie, and then we'll refasten it to the right location. I'm not sure why they were off that like that, but get this to come apart. Or at least loosen up one or the other. We got it loose enough. Slide that over lining up the hole here. A little bit more. All right, that one's in the right spot. Now just take and squeeze it back tight and it'll lock it back in place up here. And put that in there. Lock that one in. Put our zip tie holding this part. Don't know why they did that, but hey, that's how Mitsubishi did it, I guess. Zip that to there. Rid of it. And we'll turn the zip tie for the next person that reaches underneath the seat. They don't cut their hand on it. And we're going to do the same thing here. We'll just loosen it up, slide it over, and get it installed. About right. Tighten it up. Everything's good here. We can go ahead and secure everything back on the seat, put the seat back together. This one pulled down. Alright, so that's it. Get the back side of the seat. Snap this back into place. There you go. Back of the seat is secure again. Airbags installed. And this seat is ready for the car. It's going to be a while before we put the seats back in the car, so I'm going to get this one upstairs and in storage so it doesn't get damaged. Let me get these two seats off and we'll bring the driver's seats up and repeat the process. All right, so before we get into checking the wires and make sure the wires are okay, we'll get into the Super Clean giveaway. And it's really simple. It costs you nothing. All you have to do is 1, be a subscriber to Fix the Rust Bucket channel. 2, leave a comment below in this video, and anywhere in your comment, or if it's just your comment, put this in right here. And then also you have to live within the lower 48 states. What we'll do is in our next video, which will be finishing up the engine, we will come back to this video probably within a week or 2. I don't know exactly yet. We will do a random selection of comments from this video here, specifically doing the seats. I will announce it in the video of the engine, and I will also repeat this in that video. But all you'll have to do at that point is contact me at fixtherustbucket@gmail.com, get me your information, and Super Clean will ship you some Super Clean products. Now that we have these done, one more thing on our checklist to check off that we've completed on the car. Again, we're not going to be installing the seats right now. Now that they're out, we are going to be working on the soft top soon, and the back seat and the back rear panels have to come out as well. So we're going to also clean the carpet, get that cleaned up, looking nice, get the soft top done, and then we'll reinstall the interior, wipe the interior down. I actually am going to use Super Clean myself. Their regular Super Clean cleaner, I have an empty can here of their foaming stuff, but I'm going to use their regular, I guess you would call regular. I'm going to use their regular spray bottle of Super Clean. Dilute it, use it to clean the interior up, and we'll probably cover that too in a future video later on. I appreciate you watching. If you want a chance for the Super Clean giveaway, don't forget, leave a comment below and what I told you to put in the comment, or if that's just your comment. And until then, I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.